Okay, so use this stamp set for the first project. We're gonna make this cute little Easter card. I have everything in my little basket here, so before I make a total and complete mess of everything. So I'm still new. Thank you for joining me, but I'm still very new to these Facebook Lives, and I am committed to doing them at least once a week, and maybe twice a week. I don't know. I'm thinking Tuesdays and Fridays are good days for me, just not quite sure about what time. So this is the first project we're going to make today, which is this little Happy Easter card, and I made it to stand up this way. And we're going to use this. So I have everything already prepared. Let me set all this aside. So everything I have is already cut, so it's much easier and more organized for me. So first thing I did is, because I have the card laid out this way, I just took a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 and just cut it right down the middle. So because of that, then we're going to fold it here. I should have used my scoreboard, but, and then I'm going to use this embossed vellum. This was part of the celebrations. If you participated in that, I think this was a free item. And then this beautiful DSP, which was part of the coordinations. So the card base is a regular card base, 4 1/4 by 5.5. And so to layer, I just took everything 1/4 of an inch down. So my vellum piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to use this floral side is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And so to glue this down, I prefer to use the Tombow glue. And I'm going to get it kind of close to the edge. If you've ever used vellum, you can see your adhesive through. So it's kind of tricky on which vellum to use. Which adhesive to use. But I really like Tombow glue. It's one of my favorites. Hi, Diane. It's so nice to talk to you through Facebook. How have you been during this social distancing quarantine time? Right on top. I'm going to try and pay attention to the comments, guys. Again, sorry, I'm not very good at this. I will get better as we go, I promise. And I was going to see if my daughter wanted to join me in here, but she has lots of homework to do today. So that's what she's doing. Okay, so I layered on those two pieces. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have... what size did I cut this? Oh, this is 4 inches by 2 inch strip, and it's Blushing Bride is the color that I used. And I am going to use, it's the Banner Triple Punch. And you guys, I will go back after we're done with the live video. I'll post the all of the supplies and the dimensions in case you're interested in making your own of any of the projects that we do today. I'll list everything on the video and probably on my blog. So this is I love this little punch. It's the triple banner punch, and you can go up to 2 inches wide. And get this all the way in there. There we go. And it makes your little flag end for you. Easy peasy. Cutting straight lines, so sometimes it's, you know, crooked if I try to make my own banner. Hi, Sandy, I miss you. And then this is the little, this is the set we're using for this card. Isn't it cute? So we're going to use the Happy Easter and then the bunny. So I already have them mounted on my blocks here. And we're going to use Memento ink because we're going to color in the little bunny with the Stampin' Blends, and Memento ink with your alcohol markers. So this little piece, originally I was going to put, let me show you. Originally I was going to put this on the card, but it didn't really work out. I couldn't get the sizing right, and it just didn't look right. You know how it is when you're making things and just doesn't seem right. So I went with this version instead. So we're going to color the bunny. And then, okay, so I stamped the bunny. Let me let him dry out a little bit. And then we want to do Happy Easter, but I don't know if you know this little trick. Happy Easter is on one line. Well, you ask, how did I do that? You can use a Post-it note or washi tape. Just something to cover one side of the stamp. Let's see. Make sure that's stuck on there good. So I just put washi tape and I'm stamping. I'm going to peel off the washi. And I'm going to stamp. Hopefully you can see this. And then I'm going to stamp. Not really. I'm kind of eyeballing it. Happy. Yay. Okay. And then important part. Got to clean this off. Okay. And then I'm going to get another piece of tape. And I'm going to stamp the Easter. Oh, if I can get this off. I know, isn't that smart? So what do we need? We need the word Easter, right? So let me cover Happy. Oh, it's still wet. I had every intention of making all kinds of little Easter goodie treat things for my kids at school. And then here we are. So now I'm like, oh, I told Grace, I said, let's make a bunch of little treats and we'll drive around and drop them off at your friends' doorsteps. You know, she's 14. She's like, She was not excited when I said that. Let's see. All right, we got Easter. And again, I'm just eyeballing this, so I hope it works. Right about there. Awesome. Okay. So we can put the Memento ink away. Okay. So I'll let that dry for a little bit. Put my tape away. Okay, so the two that I'm using, they're super light. I don't even know if you can see them. This is the light petal pink, and then this is the light gray granite. And it has our, these are alcohol markers. There's two ends. You have this, I guess you call it the fine tip end, and then there's kind of a painter's end. And I've been playing around with the alcohol markers for a little while, and I've really fallen in love with them. So I'm slowly building up my color collection and learning how to use them, because some colors are, like especially the brighter colors, you really have to practice coloring, but they're awesome. And then sometimes, so each color, you can buy each color individually, or you can buy them in a combo pack, because there's a light and a dark to each color. And of course, in beautiful Stampin' Up! Form, they are all stamped, and the ink pads and the ribbon, and you know how it goes. But sometimes, and I'm going to show you here in a second, sometimes you don't always need that second color or the combo color that goes with it. So like this is the light gray, and I'm going to show you how to get a little bit of shading, I guess, or a darker color of the gray without having to use the darker marker. I hope that makes sense. So if you look at this bunny that I already colored, let me see. Okay, that's kind of close. See how there's kind of, if you could see the bunny's face, it's very light, but it's there. So that's what I'm going to show you. You can see the difference kind of in these two right here. This bunny doesn't have as much shading. So what I have found is if you go in a circle kind of motion, circles, circles, because, oh, there it goes. The alcohol in the marker, it starts to blend. So can you see that kind of, it's shading a little? And so I just go around, and as the alcohol starts to kind of spread and get soaked into the paper a little bit more, that's when it blends, and it shows like a shadow. All right, so our little bunny. And unfortunately, I know, super cute. Wish there was a die cut, but there's not. So I'm going to try and fussy cut this super quick and not bore you too much while I'm hand cutting this out. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I wish with all this extra time I have all these creative ideas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have in-person classes, but that's just not the case. So I figured I better get my ducks in order and do what follow through goal was in the first place, was to do more of these Facebook Lives. So here I am, my second one in 2 weeks. Not too bad, and I'm like prepared. The cutting looks easy, Sandy. It's actually not too bad. It's just kind of like, did you ever I'm sure we all did, or if we're paper crafters, you would write letters. I mean, not letters. What am I trying to say? When we had pictures, we took pictures. I always took pictures, and you would kind of bubble out your pictures. That's kind of like what this image is. Okay. I do too, Diane. I have been watching and getting inspired by so many other crafty ladies and companies out there that I'm like, you know what? If I love it, there's got to be plenty more people who would enjoy it. So I'm using Foam Dot Stampin' Dimensionals to pop up the little bunny. So cute. And then I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to use a little Tombow glue. I like this glue because you can kind of, it sticks Elmer's glue where you can move it around for a few seconds, literally a few seconds. And then it dries pretty strong. Okay, and then the last thing we're gonna do is tie some string. And this string, it is a string from Stampin' Up, but this is actually from an old Paper Pumpkin. And if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, Sandy, I know you've been subscribing with me for a long time. There's so many extra supplies that they give you in the Paper Pumpkins, even adhesives and inks, which is amazing. So all I did was double up the string like this. And it's probably, I don't know, a good 6 inches. Yeah, 6 inches or so. And then made a little bow. I don't know if you guys can hear my boys. Their bedroom is right next door to my craft room, and they're cleaning, like deep cleaning under the bed, finding all kinds of things that they lost months ago. So that's one thing that's been awesome about this stay-at-home order is we can get things done. Things that have been on the to-do list forever and a day, right? Okay, so here's something else that we get tons of in our Paper Pumpkin kits, which are these little glue dots. And I'm just using the piercing end of my handy dandy tool here and putting on a little bow. There we go. So there's project number 1. I hope you guys like it. And I don't know what happened to, I can't always. So I'm looking at comments from my iPad, but all of a sudden it went black and I couldn't see anything. So now here they are. Okay. Okay, so there we go. There's our little Easter card. So the next project, I had, I got this template from, off the internet from, I think, Pinterest. And she gave the dimensions. And if you know me, I am not good with math. You know, I'm good with easy measurements like quarter, half, 3/4, and a full inch, right? Foot, all of that. But it was like 8ths. Oh, thank goodness my daughter is good in math because she helped me. Pretty it is. So this is what we are going to make. This is the second project today. Isn't that cute? So it's before we went on quarantine, I had bought 3 little bags of candy because I was going to make treats for the girls at work and, you know, my friends, and figured I can do something. And then now I have these 3 bags of candy and I'm like, I need to make something. So these little mini Kit Kat bars, and we're going to make this tiny. Okay. And the idea was originally she had those flat, those little tiny flat Ghirardelli candies in them. I think it was a Christmas project that she had. And I just turned it into this little Easter project. Okay, so the first thing is using this little strip of cardstock, and the color, which is, again, I'm using the free DSP. Oh, this wasn't free. This was the coordinations that went with the celebration, but again, Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, it all matches. So I'm taking my scoring board, and this is where my daughter had to help me because I was like, huh? Okay, so this is Pool Party cardstock. I cut at 3.5 by 4 7/8. Okay, the DSPs are, and I'm going to put all these dimensions up for you guys because this is do it for any occasion. So these little papers, which are cut for the front and the inside of the little box, I'll give you those measurements too. Okay, so the long side, we're going to score the long side at 1.5. So we're at 1.5, right? Yeah, we're We're at 1.5. And 1 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I know. I can help my kids with many things. Math is not one of them. Okay, short side, we're going to score at 3/8. Gosh, I hope I don't screw this up. Oh my goodness. And then 3 1/8. Good thing I have a ton of cardstock. You've never seen a scoring board? Okay, well, let me tell you, it is amazing. What did I do with my bone folder? Yeah, let me show you again. So, Stampin' Up! Sells these scoring boards, and which is, this is the one I'm using now. This one comes, you have your little markers, these little markers. So if you're working on a project, say you're going to make, say you're going to make 30 of them for a class set, you can just set your markers and you don't even have to think up at the top, and you can go through and score them. You get the stylus tool that comes with it, and it has a thinner edge, which I think I have a kind of rips my cardstock, but I use the larger end of the stylus tool. But handy tool, absolutely love it, especially when it comes to doing straight lines and making boxes like this. Oh, it is awesome. I will post more information about it too on my blog and when I post this video after we're done live. Okay, so I creased all of those folding edges, and then we're going to cut up just these two little sides over here and these two sides over here. Okay? Before we adhere anything. So see the back side? That was the flower paper Stampin' Up! Fashion. It's double-sided, and love the stripes. So, oh no, I'm not using that for that. That's another adhesive we'll use in just a second. Okay, so you have to kind of decide which way you want your colors. I think I like my colors that way. So I'm just going to use snail, which is great for thinner paper like your printed designer paper or your copy paper, whatever thin print paper you have. And just going to kind of center that. Okay, sorry guys, I'm not paying attention if there's any comments. Okay, so we have the designer series paper. This is Tear and Tape. If you've never seen Tear and Tape, strong tape, perfect for making boxes like this. You can definitely use it on cards, but it's not necessary unless you're putting something on a card that's maybe heavier. There's that. And I love it because you literally just tear it. I think we've used it a couple of times at one or two of my craft classes. Okay, so I didn't do anything with these little tiny little flaps. I just kind of folded them in. And then, are you still in video? Okay. And the thing about Tear and Tape is once you glue it, it's in there. You can rip it up, but it will kind of rip the cardstock at the same time. It's super strong. Okay. Okay, so I just kind of use my bone folder to crease that down. Okay, so there's a little box. So the box is done. Now, this paper, oh, let me punch the heart. So this is the Heart Duo punch set that is currently in the, and it comes in a set. So you get the scallop heart and just the line heart comes together. And the line heart fits perfectly inside the scallop. So, did I grab a large enough piece of paper? Perfect. We'll punch a heart in the pool party. That's going to go there. And then more of the designer series paper. It has this gingham in the back. And it's fits perfect in the solid. Oh, another little tip. Let me show you before I put this in. So you know how you have paper that maybe is too small and it gets caught. You're like, how do I hold that? I put a Post-it note here on the edge so it extends my paper because my finger won't fit in there. Look at that. And it fits inside the punch and I can punch it out without punching my finger or pinching my skin, because believe me, I've done that. Okay, so that's gonna go there. See, it matches. It's all the same color. The pattern is a little bit different, but that's okay. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is stamp, and another Thank You Paper Pumpkin pool party. I have whole sets of ink pads in a very long time, and I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2004. And so I think when the new catalog comes out in June, I am going to splurge and get a full set of inks because, you know, I've had mine for a really long time. I don't have a lot of the new colors. I do get them through a Paper Pumpkin in these little spots, which is wonderful. But anyways, so I am going to use this little strip of white paper. And I'm sorry, I didn't even show you. We are using the stamp set for this. What am I trying to say? It's not a scripture. This wording is from this set right here, and it comes in, you can get all three, or you can just get the stamp set, or you can get the dies. Let me show you. But I know it was like gulp, but I love it. It's in the big annual catalog. It's A Wish for Everything, and you get all of these sayings and you get all of these words, and I got the dies that go with it. So you could do like, I plan on making a couple projects with these over the weekend, so I will post them and show you. Mother's Day, St. Patrick's Day, anniversary, Easter, Valentine's, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Father's Day, birthdays, Halloween. I love it. Anyways, awesome set. It's a wish for everything. And then the word wishes that when I post all the information, with this video. So I just stamped that on a tiny little piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to get my bigger scissors here. And again, without pulling out my paper cutter, I just followed the lines because they're of the letters as straight as I possibly can. And I'm using, it's kind of an apricot color ribbon that I felt like goes with it. Tie a little ribbon bow. I used to not be able to tie a bow, a very nice bow, until I had a daughter. And then I actually started making hair bows and got really good at tying bows, all kinds, big, small, tiny. So, okay, so I'm going to cut the ends off. Okay, so now let's put this together. I'm going to use, again, I'm just going to use the snail to put my heart on the scallop heart. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals. And let's see. 2 down the side, or I'm sorry, the bottom part, so I don't want to put any on the top. Okay. And then I'll kind of put that there. And then I'll put some snail there. So it says, just a little reminder that you are loved. Isn't that sweet? And then more of these fabulous little pumpkin. Thank you, Paper Pumpkin. Set it there. I think one holds it. I mean, it hasn't fallen off. I made these, I think, 2 days ago. Maybe you might want to put 2. And then, where'd my other chocolate go? There we go. And then, let's see. What order did I put them in? I had the cream, pink, and the blue. There. What do you think?